Angular template. So template is a small part of an Angular application user interface. It is written in HTML and is used to generate the view of the component to be rendered in the browser. The relationship between the template and the component. The Angular component control how a view should be displayed on the browser screen. It consists of a TypeScript class and cascading style sheets along with the HTML page. Template can be found inside the metadata of a component defined using the template property or linked using the template URL property. Since the purpose of an Angular template is to produce only a chunk of an HTML, not a complete HTML document, it does not support a few HTML elements, so which are HTML body and base. The script tag is not supported intentionally to prevent script injection in the final Angular applications. Each component in Angular application has an associated view known as component view, which is created from the template associated with the component. This template and the component instance have dynamic interactions between them. The template receives data from the component and send back to the component as well. So this is the diagrammatic format. So first the component gives to the template and the template gives its loader. So finally you view the application. So there are two ways to define template in Angular. First one is inline. We can create a template using the template property of the add component decorator directly in the component class file. And the second one is external. So it is the default way of creating the template. It uses the template URL property to link a template to a component. And then Angular views. Angular provides a rich set of features to create a UI for the application. The portion of the user interface is an Angular applications is called view. Angular views are basically a chunk of HTML or DOM structure represent immediately in the execution of an Angular application and are rendered into the final HTML markup. So this is the features of Angular template. The Angular template support additional features to create dynamic content and to provide rich interaction with the component. So the additional features are text interpolation, text transformations to Angular pipes, template statement, data binding, directives, and template variable. The first one is text interpolations. So it is the process of connecting models of a component instance to the text portions of the component template. So this is the example for the text interpolation. And then text transformation through pipes. The text transformations can be done in the template using the pipes symbol. So the Angular template provides a unique features called Angular pipe, basically a JavaScript functions which input along with the modifier through argument and transform the input data from one format to another format and then it render it. So this is the example for simple component, current time component to show the current time along with the date. We have to give the current time component. Here the date is the pipeline function and short it argument. This will show the current date with time in a simple format as shown below. So it will display the output as the current date and time. And then the template statement. Template statements are used to interact with the user through the events in HTML document. They are similar to JavaScript expression with a few exceptions and few additions. So here height status is a Boolean property of the component is used to set or remove the CSS class. Show and hide are the two methods to execute the actions of remove the CSS class. So this is the code for the height status. Here hide and show are the template statement used to set the action for the click events of the button. And then one is data binding. So binding is the process of connecting a target in the template and then expressions or statement based on model of the component to which the template belongs. So text interpolation is the simplest form of binding and Angular provides many type of binding. They are as follows. So the first one is text interpolations. So it is the process of connecting models of a component instance to the text portions of components template. The second one is attribute binding. Attribute binding is the process of connecting models of a component instance to other attribute of HTML element in the components template. Third one is class and style binding. Class and style binding is the process of connecting models of a component instance to the class and style attributes of HTML element in the component template. The fourth one is property binding. Property binding is the process of connecting models of a component instance to the property of HTML element or other component in the component template. Angular exposes the attribute of HTML element as properties with attribute names converted to the camel case. This will help to connect all attributes of the HTML element through the property binding. Then event binding. So event binding is a process of connecting the models of a component instance method to the event of a HTML element. The last one is two-way data binding. Two-way data binding is a combination of property and event binding to sync data between the parent and the child component. And then directives. Angular provides excellent features. Directive to add additional behavior to any existing HTML element or components in a generic way. So this is an examples of ngif directive to show or hide a target element as follows. So here show section is a variable in the component having a truthy value. So here the show section is the template expression used by ngif to decide whether to render the divide element. So if the condition succeeds, it will render the divide element. Otherwise, it will skip the rendering element. Template in Angular provide a lot of options to generate UI fragment quite effectively. It supports great interactions with the component instances to sync the data. It prevents the script injections and improve the predictability of the template output by avoiding the side effects in the template. Next one is template statement. Template statement enable the applications to interact with the user in safe and effective method. without sacrificing the flexibility in coding and rich user experience of the applications. Template statements are used to interact with the user through events in the HTML document. They allow the user to call the component method in response to the user actions. It allows the developer to write the simple logic in the template itself with multiple statements separated by colon. So this is the syntax of the template statement. Template statement enables the applications to interact with the user in a safe and effective method without sacrificing the flexibility in coding and rich user experience of the applications. The first one is component assignment operators. The template statement does not support component assignment operators. Compared to the template expressions, the statements support the normal assignment operator. And then the new keyword. Template does not allow the creations of new object. All the objects should be created in the component class. An object created in the component will be available in the template. The next one is increment and decrement operator. Template does not allow the side effect. Since the increment and decrement operator do not do the side effect, they are excluded. And then the bitwise operator. Bitwise operator are not supported. And then pipe operator. Template statement does not support pipe operator. So this is the example for how to use template statement in the template. Template statement can be written inside the double quotes and set as the value of the component event property as shown below. Here, click represents the click event of the button. It uses the event binding concept which is detailed study in the event binding. And then the statement can be any template statement as specified in the previous sections. So this is the example for the usage of template statement. So first one, you have to create a new application using the Angular CA, using the following command ng new my app. And then in step 2, you have to create a component block with slow height using Angular CLI, using the following command ng generate component block with slow height. In the third step, open the component file and add a variable and then hide the status to represent the show or hide status. The fourth one, have to add the two methods show and hide to change the value of the hide status variable with respect to the user actions. In step 5, open the component template and a block with the two buttons. In step 6, add click event to the button and the corresponding method. In step 7, add a class property binding class height with the value height status in the block to be shown or hidden. In the step 8, the complete list of the component. In step 9, add height CSS class in the CSS file. Step 6, steps 10. Next, open the app component file and then add the component. In step 11, open the app component file and add the component under the import section. So in step 12, finally run the application and check whether the block is shown or hidden based on the user actions. If you click hide the section means it is will hide. So if it is show the section means it is show the section. Template variables are variables available in the contents of the template. Angular does not allow the developer to create new variable in the template. Instead, it allows a new variable to be passed into the template through a component or directive instance. Also, it allows to declare a variable in the template and refers to any of the existing element available in the template. So template variables are simple to use in the Angular framework. It is minimal and easy to understand and covers all aspects of client-side programming. There are two types of template variables. Template input variables are variable passed into the template and available in the contents of template. They are passed into the template through multiple channels. There are component directive. So component exposes all its public variables or property to its template. And then directive exposes selective variables into the template during its execution. And then the second one is template reference variable. Template reference variables are declared in the template itself and refers to the existing element in the template. The syntax to declare a template variable is to #var along with the variable name. Angular allows the variable to be declared as attribute of an element available in the template. The type and value of the template reference variable depend on where is it declared. If a variable is declared inside the element, then it refers to the HTML element. If the variable is declared inside the component, then it refers to the component instance. If the variable is declared inside the template, then it refers to the instance of the template. If the variable is declared inside the custom web component, then it refers to the custom HTML element. So for example, let us create an application to show the value entered by the user in input box to the span element template reference variable concept. The applications will provide a button for the user to fire and accessing the input box value and show it in the span element. So in step 1, you have to create a new application using the Angular CI. Step 2, create a component. In step 3, open the component template file. In step 4, let's add a span element in the template. Step 5, add a button in the template. In step 6, add click event using the property binding and light logic to set the value of input element to the span element. In step 7, open the app component and the add the component. In step 8, open the app component files. In step 9, finally run the application and check whether the button is working fine or not. The final one is Angular SVG as template. So SVG is scalable vector graphic. It is used to create vector-based graphics in XML format. XML is a markup language like HTML that stores and transfers data on the web. SV graphics can be done easily through Angular templates. It can combine with form programming to dynamically set the style of the bar chart and extend the bar chart to support another type of chart as well. SVG provides a framework for creating rich graphics with declarative programming. Angular template can be applied to the SVG to create dynamic graphics with minimal effort. So these are the steps for creating SVG as a template. So let us create a simple bar chart in SVG format and use it in our template and then update the bar chart dynamically through template input variables. First one, create a new applications using the Angular CLI. Step 2, create a component or chart using Angular CLI. In step 3, open the component template file, chart.html and add a static bar chart in SVG. In step 4, open the component style file chart.css and add below CSS to style the SVG bar chart. In step 5, open the app component template app.html and add chart component. In step 6, next open the app component app.ts and add chart component. In step 7, run the application and check whether the chart is rendering properly. In step 8, create an interface fruits to hold the chart data. In step 9, update the interface with name and count value. In step 10, import the fruit interface in the chart component. In step 11, add sample fruit data in the chart component. Finally, in step 12, open the component template file and update the bar chart to use the fruit template from the component. So finally, how to run the application and check whether the chart is rendered properly or not. So finally, the output will show like this. So it is rendered correctly. SVG graphics can be done easily through Angular template. It combined with form programming to dynamically set the value of the bar chart and extend the bar chart to support another type of chart as well. SVG chart is just an example for how SVG can be created in Angular template. It can be used to create advanced SCV graphics like map, STV based animation. So that's all about Angular template.